Welcome to Community Crypto on CoinDesk TV. I'm your host, Isaiah Jackson, and this week we are discussing the recent explosion of meme coins in the cryptocurrency world. I'm joined now by Glauber Contessoto, aka Dogecoin Millionaire, who is a Dogecoin investor and an enthusiastic community member, Emily Parker, who is a CoinDesk Managing Director and is following the Dogecoin meme coin phenomenon closely, and Jay Derenthal, a finance journalist with some interesting personal Shiba stories to tell us. Welcome to the show, guys.
What's going on?
Hello.
How's it going? And let's start here with Emily. You recently published an article entitled "Why We Should Take Dogecoin Seriously" earlier this year, and in there you write, "Quote: What once seemed absurd to many can become dead serious." And since your article came out, a Doge competitor has emerged called Shiba Inu. And why do you think all of this is happening now, and why should we take it seriously?
Sure. So yes, that article is about Dogecoin, but now it can be about just dog-themed coins in general. So I think meme coins should definitely be taken seriously. I mean, first, on the most basic level, there is real money behind them. So this is not fake money. This is real money. And as our guests can talk about, people can actually make millions off of these coins, right? So they are serious on that level. But I think, this show is called Community Crypto, and this is about community-driven investment. And I think that's a really interesting and important phenomenon. And, these meme coins are great examples of that. But I think also, where we saw this week, the Wall Street Journal was reporting on Bed Bath & Beyond stock that's being driven up on Reddit and social media. So this is happening across a variety of different markets. And I think it's an example of a democratization of finance, of just sort of individual retail investors trying to get in on the action. And so, I think it's a really important trend to pay attention to.
Oh, yeah. And let me just state, as far as the Dogecoin community, I do want to put out there, I was one of the early people to get in Dogecoin when it first came out, helped fund the Jamaican bobsled team back in 2014 or 15. So I understand
you.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I understand when a community emerges out of nowhere. I remember staying up late at night and just seeing new people coming into the space because Dogecoin started off, as a meme joke. And Glauber, I want to jump to you. You are a Dogecoin millionaire. Welcome to the club. So when did you get involved in the Dogecoin, and why are you not selling?
I got involved in Dogecoin at the very end of January, right? So it was literally right after the whole GameStop fiasco happened on Robinhood. And I realized that there was this pent-up frustration from retail investors, and that money had to go somewhere, right? So they missed out. Like, a lot of people lost a lot of money in GameStop. A lot of people missed out on the GameStop run-up. And so everyone's looking for what's next. All right, what's next? What's the next GameStop? Like, how can we invest money and have that same similar run-up happen, right? And that brought me to Dogecoin. You know what I mean? I was on the Reddit. I was on Wall Street Bets Reddit, and I'm scrolling through, and somebody made a post about, hey, has Dogecoin ever gone to $1? And when I saw the name Dogecoin, I was like, I've seen this before, but let me look more into it. And I realized that this was a life-changing thing that was going to happen, and I had to get in on it as soon as possible.
Oh, yeah. And I love to see people succeeding in this market. And since Dogecoin has come out, we've seen the emergence of a new dog-themed coin, Shiba Inu, and it is the newest dog-themed cryptocurrency to make waves. And Jay, you have some interesting stories about this coin. What has been your experience thus far with Shiba?
My experience is that on May 10th, which was the all-time high for Shiba Inu originally, the first all-time high, I received a text message from a friend. He had Shiba Inu in a wallet. He had bought some on Uniswap. Somebody had showed him how to do that. And that was a day when Shiba Inu transaction volume basically shut down the Ethereum network at points. It was really slowing it down. The transaction fees were extremely high. And he asked me for help because he suddenly started seeing some FUD and got scared and thought, okay, I've got to get out of this coin. And he didn't know how to work his MetaMask and convert it back into Ethereum. So that was my introduction. I had never heard of Shiba Inu before.
Oh, yeah. And since that time, have you been approached or asked about Shiba a lot more?
Well, that started my journey I did a long form piece on the Shiba Inu origin story, and at the time I told him to hold his SHIB because a rug pull was not imminent. Their social media scores were very high. I didn't see to get out of the trade at that time. The Ethereum fees were so high as a stop trade loss would have been more expensive than the loss if there was a rug pull. Eventually, I told him to hold his Shiba Inu, and I started investigating it, and I found some good things.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and we have seen over time Shiba outperform Dogecoin. So you have even a more fierce community behind it, pushing it. And this is a true story. I have to tell this story. Yesterday, Verizon guy showed up at my house trying to sell Verizon. I had on a sweatshirt like this with a blockchain on it. First thing he says is, "Are you in blockchain like Bitcoin?" And I was like, "Yeah, I dabble a little bit." And he was like, "So tell me you got some Shiba." And it's funny because that's probably the fifth instance where I've mentioned Bitcoin or mentioned crypto, and the first thing out of their mouth was Shiba. So it seems as though that marketing is working and pushing out to these people is working. So jumping to you, Emily, do you think because a lot of people are learning about Shiba, they may not know some of the fundamentals, do you think decentralization will affect how people purchase this coin, or is the collective belief stronger than those fundamentals?
Yeah, so I'd be actually also curious to hear what you guys think. I mean, my understanding is that Shiba and Doge communities are really, really different. Like this is like a totally different group of people with different interests. Dogecoin at one point was at least known to be fairly centralized. I think even Elon Musk was tweeting about that, right? Which is kind of ironic because he's such like a centralized figure. But he was tweeting about how the majority of Dogecoin wealth was concentrated in a small number of addresses. I don't think the same is true for Shiba as of now. I'm not sure. But yeah, I mean, I think, look, here's the thing. I think both of these kind of represent like this ideal of crypto, like this decentralized network. People are anonymous. There's no leader. But the question is like, once you get real money involved, like how long can that actually last?
Well, let me interject really quickly. So those few addresses that he was saying held a lot of Dogecoin in them were proven to be exchanges, just based on a lot of Reddit detectives. You know what I mean? Like people put in a lot of work to discover that and figured out that the biggest wallet in Dogecoin was in fact Robinhood. And just recently, there was more research done, and they saw that that wallet has diminished very much so in the recent days because now Robinhood's getting ready to release wallets out to the public. So that address went from 30% to like maybe a few, like 2-3% or something like that.
Right. And decentralization is on a scale, right? So nothing is completely decentralized and nothing all the way to completely centralized. So you start off with that and you have to move to a point where it's more decentralized. I'm sure that will happen as more people enter into the market. And one thing I wanted to ask Jay, and anybody else can answer this as well. A lot of younger people are looking at Shiba, and one of the things that they are seeing is that it's cheap. And I wanted to ask, do you have any worries about new investors purchasing just because of unit bias?
I think that the unit bias is maybe something that attracts some retail investors at the very beginning. But of course, as you know, it's not a material difference between, say, SHIB and other cryptocurrencies. The material difference is that SHIB holders can engage in wealth accumulative tactics and strategies that, as far as I know, Dogecoin holders cannot, because it is a decentralized protocol. It has its own DEX. And you can stake it, you can trade it, you can add it to liquidity pools, you can earn rewards in the form of bone tokens. So I think that that people are initially drawn in, perhaps there's some investors, especially in other less developed countries, by that low price point. When they get into the community, they start to discover a lot more going on. And I think that's the material difference that keeps people interested between Shiba Inu and Dogecoin. A lot of Dogecoin people coming into Shiba Inu now. A lot.
Right. And Glauber, absolutely. And Glauber, give us some insight on that as well. Do you think the unit bias has brought people into Dogecoin, or do you think it's more of the use case?
No, I think unit bias plays a huge role. You know what I mean? Like somebody would much rather own 1,000 Dogecoins instead of 0.0000018 Bitcoin. You know what I mean? Like it's just it's a psychological thing. You know what I mean? If you're gonna get into crypto, it's intimidating, right? If you're first getting into crypto, Bitcoin is Ethereum's thousands of dollars, Bitcoin's $60,000, $50,000, $60,000. Like it's very intimidating. So somebody would rather be like, oh, I want to get into crypto, but I don't want to spend whatever money, even though it's going to be the same amount of money, whether you buy Bitcoin or Dogecoin. It just feels better buying something cheaper. It's almost as if in your mind, you're not making as big of a risk by only buying $100 worth of Dogecoin and having a bunch versus buying $100 of Bitcoin and having 0.0000 whatever Bitcoin.
I think we have to look at
I just want to put something. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Good, Jay.
Go ahead, Emily.
Yes. I think we have to look at Satoshis. When we look at Bitcoin, you have a Satoshi that is quantified as 100 millionth of a Bitcoin. That's worth about 7/10 of a cent right now. And where you have 550 trillion SHIB tokens, they're each worth about 1/10 of a Satoshi now, about 1/7,000th of a penny. So as people start looking at Bitcoin and quantifying it in Satoshis, which I think will come, then maybe some of these lower price point coins won't look so different, but that might be a year or two.
Nice. And Emily, did you want to follow up?
Yeah, I just wanted to, that's a really good point. I'm glad you said that. But I wanted to just kind of take it away from unit bias for a second. Just as my own theory, and you guys, I'd be curious to hear what you think about it. So I think one of the other differentiators between these meme coins and Bitcoin is that like right now, Bitcoin, it's kind of like growing up, right? It's sort of like very much in the sort of like adult financial world, right? Everyone's talking about Bitcoin futures ETF, and there's all these like Wall Street players and sort of like big, MasterCard and Visa. And I don't know, for me personally, like, I kind of got into crypto more from the like, okay, this is like this really revolutionary technology. And like, I think it also had like a certain, Bitcoin also not that long ago seemed a little bit absurd. It seemed crazy. It was sort of like had a really weird community. And I think there's something about meme coins that like tap into that a little bit, where Bitcoin sort of feels a little bit more Wall Street these days. I feel like meme coins kind of like encapsulate more of like the fun of crypto and the original ideals of crypto. Whether they're the reality or not is another question, but that's just my feeling. I don't know if you guys share that.
Yes, Emily. There are a lot of factors at play here, and that's an important one. There's the community aspect. There's the price point. There's the fun aspect. And there's what's happened with Wall Street Bets that has driven interest in meme games in general. And there's several other things that are important factors here. So it's a combination of things.
Mm-hmm. And
of course, there's Elon Musk tweeting about Shiba news. And
I feel like we have to talk about Elon Musk.
Yeah,
and I think we have to talk about Elon Musk because he's like,
Yep.
Yeah, because he's like, Elon Musk is an important thing to talk about just because, like, again, the ideals of these are like decentralization, these are like the coins of the people. But then you have this like incredibly rich guy, this celebrity who, like, he definitely played a huge role in Dogecoin's rise. And, he probably played a huge role in Shiba Inu's rise as well, right? So it's kind of like where he fits into this, I think, is an important part of the story. Like, if he weren't around, would these coins be where they are today? And, like, what does that mean,
Maybe not to the same level.
The Musk effect. Maybe not the Musk effect.
Yeah, maybe not to the same level. I feel like Dogecoin would still be successful. A big part why Dogecoin is successful is the ease of purchase, through Robinhood. But Elon has definitely played a big role. But I feel like Dogecoin wouldn't be as big, but it would still have had success.
Oh yeah.
Let me ask you for Shiba Inu.
Oh, 1 second, Jay. Let me ask this real quick. In regards to the success of Dogecoin, another billionaire who's spoken out against it is Mark Cuban, right? So, Glauber, I wanted to ask you: do you think that Mark Cuban having Dogecoin accepted for Mavericks gear and tickets, do you think he's serious, or do you think it's sort of a fad that he's just trying to take advantage of?
So I think Mark Cuban kind of gets it. You know what I mean? Like he understands the fun factor here that a lot of people dismiss. You know, like a lot of times, you know, these big time investors and these crypto gurus or these guys that have been around cryptocurrency for years look at Dogecoin, you know, as a fad and it's gonna go away. But Mark Cuban kind of showed us that, hey, you know, my store, you know, my Mav store takes all sorts of cryptocurrencies, but guess which one gets used the most? Dogecoin. There's got to be value in being the crypto that people want to use. And he's proven that, you know, that people do want to use it.
And Jay, did you want to follow up to that?
As far as payments, yeah, she is having success there as well. Shopping.io takes Shiba Inu as payment now. A few other places. I saw it locally where I live being accepted for payment in a salon. And I happened to see a Bitcoin machine in the convenience store yesterday just before that. So, you know, there's something happening here with payments.
Speaking on shopping.io, by the way, they've also started accepting Floki coin, which I think is going to be huge in the future. And I'm a personal investor of it as well. And Floki coin, by the way, started because Elon Musk's dog is named Floki. So Elon Musk plays a role in all these dog meme coins for sure.
Oh man!
Yes.
So we're going even
But
further down.
he doesn't hold any. He doesn't hold any sheep, right? That he said that.
No.
He's
Elon Musk doesn't hold any sheep. Elon Musk only holds Ethereum, Bitcoin, and Dogecoin. But just the simple fact that he comes out and gets on Twitter and says, I'm buying a Shiba Inu puppy and I'm going to name him Floki, Sheba goes up because he said the word Sheba, and Floki becomes a cryptocurrency. And all of this was because of Doge, though, because the dog breed of Doge is a Shiba Inu. So that played a huge role in Sheba becoming successful and gaining traction, because people were thinking, oh, he said Shiba Inu, that must mean that he's talking about the Shiba Inu coin, when in reality he's talking about Dogecoin. You see, so that confusion helped Sheba attain a lot of success.
And when he said recently,
Floki, I want to say,
go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say Floki is the name of his dog, and it came out with a new coin. So what happens when that dog has puppies? Is there going to be new coins that come out?
Probably. That is probable. That's very probable.
I think we've seen now the two so-called dog meme coins that are going to dominate the coin market.
There's going to be a trilogy. There's going to be three. There's going to be a trilogy.
I don't believe so.
Floki's the third one. I think so. It's going to happen, and then we're going to have this conversation again.
Oh yeah.
The one thing I don't understand is why Shiba brands itself as like a Dogecoin killer. Like, I don't know. I talked to you a little bit about
it. That's why I didn't like Shiba. That's why at first I was very against the Shiba Inu coin, because it branded itself as the Dogecoin killer. And if you know anything about Dogecoin, you know that Doge stands for do only good every day. So you're taking a positive community that are trying to make changes and help people's lives, like the Jamaican bobsled team. You're attacking a community that does only good every day. That rubs me the wrong way. I don't want to have.
It was never an attack on the community, and there is no branding anymore around Dogecoin Killer. If you go to the website, it's not there anymore. And that was originally the leash token anyway. That was dubbed the Dogecoin Killer, not Shiba Inu. So there's a little bit of confusion there.
It was still affiliated with Shiba
and that was a controversy within the Shiba Inu community. Most people were against it and didn't like it, and that controversy was part of the initial branding to bring in maybe some supporters to get noticed, and that branding has now been removed.
I was actually very surprised that Shiba Inu got to the top 10 coin market cap. I was super surprised at that. I didn't think anything could happen like that like what happened with Dogecoin could happen again. When I saw Shiba Inu get to the top 10 cryptocurrencies, I've realized there are no rules here. This can happen again, which is why I'm saying it's going to happen again, and it's going to happen with Floki, and there's going to be 3 meme dog coins. It's going to be Dogecoin, Shiba, and Floki.
And Glauber, let me
disagree with
say
that.
this. One second, Jay. Well, Jay, you say you disagree. This is one thing I want to say, Glauber. When I first got into Bitcoin, I didn't think Bitcoin would be one of the top 10 assets in the world. And then when Dogecoin was created, I was like, Dogecoin's never going to be top 10. And here we are. You thought Shiba wasn't going to be top 10. And here's a Shiba person saying a third one will not be top 10. I can promise you crypto is crazier than you think. Anything is possible, and it could happen.
The most ironic outcome.
I know. And one second. And one of the things that I want to maybe push that forward is the fact that, if these coins keep getting listed on Robinhood or listed on exchanges, on Coinbase or wherever, that just brings in more of the crowd. So I wanted to ask you, Jay, if we have a listing of Shiba on Robinhood, and then people are starting to accept that these coins are getting on there, do you not think that a third coin could be possible or more beyond that?
Well, there was an earnings call. Robinhood had their earnings call on Halloween, and Vald spoke about Shiba Inu, and there is a petition, something like 100,000 signatures encouraging Robinhood to list Shiba Inu. Vault said that they are sensitive to the fact that a lot of traders on Robinhood want Shiba Inu, but it's so new. It's only a year old, just over a year. There are regulatory concerns that they have to kind of consider on something so new, or actually any meme coin. There's regulatory, any cryptocurrency being added to your exchange, there's regulatory concerns. But he did also announce that Shiba Inu does work in the Robinhood private self-custody wallet now. You can stake SHIB on Shiba Swap and elsewhere, Uniswap, I suppose, for staking rewards. And you can, of course, on Shiba Swap, create a liquidity pair with SHIB and Ethereum or whatever you want and earn bone rewards. So, but he did mention that they now have, I don't think they're going to do it before the new year as far as adding SHIB. Trading against Doge, maybe, but they did announce that their wallet now works with SHIB, and their wallet works on Shiba Swap, and so you can stake Shiba Inu for rewards on Shiba Swap with the Robinhood wallet now. That was announced Halloween.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And I do have to stay here. I do want to make sure our listeners understand this is not financial advice. We're simply exploring different communities, different dogs. We're not telling you to go out and spend everything you have.
No, I don't have any. I don't have any Shiba Inu myself. I am not. I'm a journalist.
I hear that. It's no problem. We just want to make sure we put that out there for the whole conversation. And Emily, speaking of that petition, could you talk more about that petition to get Shiba on Robinhood through change.org?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, it's pretty impressive. I mean, this really got my attention. We're talking about something, what is it at? Like 500,000 more or less? I mean, it's like a lot of people, right? So, I mean, It definitely is a sign of how strong this community is. I mean, this is like a very clear sign, like that's a lot of people who are petitioning. I mean, I think it's interesting. The question for me is like, when does the effect start to get diluted? Because, Dogecoin was it was the first really sort of like funny, absurdist meme to like really take off. And that was like, dominated a lot of headlines. It made it into the mainstream media. And then Shiba, it's kind of like, wow, oh my God, there's another one. And now that's, getting a lot of attention. But at a certain point, I don't know how many of these different coins can maintain this kind of momentum, So I don't know. It will be interesting to see. I don't know what Robinhood will decide on this.
Oh yeah,
they will go with it eventually.
Yeah.
Well, you heard it here first.
There's rumor that today they're going to add it, but I think that the earnings call kind of indicated there's going to be a bull run on Shiba Inu once they do announce the listing. But let's just wait and see. I guess it might be January 1st.
Oh yeah, and do you think there may be an instance where it's buy the rumor, sell the news, and right now the price is pumping on the rumor, and as soon as it gets listed, you have a huge dump and
drop off. That's happened time and time again.
I think that's always a good way to trade speculative assets with a lot of froth. But that's as much as I can say about that. That's my personal opinion.
So many people were upset because the crypto exchange Kraken, or rather its product lead, had said that the exchange would list Shiba Inu on Tuesday if this tweet received 2,000 likes. But as of Wednesday, the tweet had received more than 77,000 likes and still was not listed on Kraken because apparently, as Kraken indicated, there was more work to be done. So, I guess this is an ongoing story.
And, jumping back to you, Glauber, do you think that the volatility of these coins will in any way push people away? Because if you look at the charts of Dogecoin, I've, like I said, been in since the very beginning, sort of looks like a heart monitor, right? It's just up, down, up, down, up,
but then
down,
you
right?
zoom out,
and
and you see the uptrend
it's
over the years.
continually going up. Exactly.
Right?
But what I'm saying is for new investors, that initial down may scare some people out. Do you think that will happen with some of the newer Dogecoin investors and Shiba as well?
I'll put it this way. When I first got into Dogecoin, it's scary. The volatility is scary. But I don't know if you guys saw this meme, by the way, speaking on memes, but it's almost like your money in the bank is like a family out in the picnic. And then your money in crypto, it's a family on a roller coaster ride. So like after a while, you get used to it. You know what I mean? It's gonna but you have to tell people that. You have to kind of like teach people that like, hey, volatility happens. But if you believe in something and it's a good project, it's going to eventually rise. There's going to be volatility, but you have to be able to stomach those drops. You have to be able to buy the dip. You have to be able to have diamond hands like I do to be able to, you know what I mean, ride this wave. And it's not easy at first. And I feel like it may scare some retail investors, but once they get in the hang of it, once they hold it for a little bit, maybe just a small portion, they get used to it. And I feel like that's just something everybody's got to go through when they first start buying crypto.
Right.
There are waves of FUD and FOMO affecting both Doge and Shiba. The waves of FUD and FOMO enable day traders to scalp day trades, trading the channel that they need to trade. So there's ways to make money that way. But but if you believe in the community and the project, in either case, Doge or Shiba Inu, I would try to tune all of that out. I don't like day trading personally, but and just hodl, and just enjoy it.
Oh yeah,
don't stress.
Bring the fun back.
It's supposed to be fun,
right? Exactly. Yeah, that's one of the reasons I got into the space. You want to bring the fun back to crypto. This is how we do it, and this is how we go mainstream. We bring a lot of people in that may or may not have, financial background or tech backgrounds, but they understand the fun of crypto and the use case. So I love to hear that, and I would love to hear from all three of you. And I'll start with you, Emily. What would be your 30-second elevator pitch if somebody said, "Hey, I'm thinking about getting into crypto. What do you think about Dogecoin and Shiba?" What would be your 30-second elevator pitch to enlighten them about what it is?
Okay, this is not investor advice. I would say that, these are coins that, capture some of the original ideals of cryptocurrency, which is that they are fun, they aim for decentralization, they don't have notable leaders. And so, this is kind of what crypto, at least in theory, is supposed to be.
Beautiful. And Glauber, I'll let you jump in next. 30-second pitch. What do you think you would tell someone who asked about Dogecoin or Shiba?
Digital internet money. You want, not financial advice. Don't put more in than you can afford to lose. Do your own due diligence. Do your own research, but take a look at it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And quick and to the point. And Jay, finally, what would be your 30-second pitch to try and get people into these coins?
Regarding Shiba Inu, I would say just tune out the price action right now and the froth in the marketplace. Look at the trifecta, the leash coin, the bone, and the Shiba Inu, the decentralized exchange, the NFTs, the Shiboshis, the L1 blockchain they're working on. The community is stronger than any other crypto community. And there's an incubator as well. People want to come up with business development ideas or even artistic projects. They can get involved by contacting some people on Discord. So there's a lot going on with Shiba Inu, and there's ways to invest in other parts of it, like leash and bone tokens.
Beautiful. Yes. And I'm sure whoever's on that elevator with you guys would definitely be convinced to at least take a look at these two coins. And we're definitely bringing the fun back to crypto. Thank you three for coming on today. Thank you, Glauber. Thank you, Emily and Jay. I appreciate it, guys.
Shout out to the Floki Vikings, by the way.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And that's it for this episode of Community Crypto. I'm your host, Isaiah Jackson, and every week we're building a global community with local crypto groups. So be sure to tune in every Thursday at 4 p.m. Eastern on CoinDesk TV. See you then.